A lot of dedication, a lot of hard work, and just a lot of perseverance.
I was able to manage, and there was a lot of support from the school, including my professors who were really, really nice and helped me pretty much get through the whole program.
The one-on-one aspect, you really feel like you could connect with everyone and get one-on-one experiences and not just be another number in the classroom.
It's a physical job, and also it involves a lot of critical thinking.
My professors and my classmates have all been very supportive and very great to go through this journey with.
You have a heart for helping people. It's definitely a great program to be in.
Well, Dr. Vaccarino, PTA faculty, special guests in our graduating class, and their family and friends. Good evening and welcome to the December class of 2022 Physical Therapist Assistant Pinning Ceremony. And I think we can give them a round of applause. So during your journey in the PTA program that has led to this very night, think about all the things that you've learned. I know the faculty have taught you stuff from textbooks and practical applications, all the science and the practical applications of physical therapy. You know the benefits it offers to patients. And you know it helps them regain or improve their mobility. And I happen to know a thing or two about the advantages of physical therapy myself. It's just that I know these things from the perspective of being a patient many more times than I'd like to count or admit. Right now is one of those times. As a matter of fact, it's been a tough year for Hodges University faculty and staff. We've had 3 people get orthopedic surgeries just in the last few months, so you know we're single-handedly supporting PTs and PTAs all over the region. By definition, physical therapy involves mobility and function in athletes and the elderly who have injuries, illnesses, or medical conditions. I'm no athlete, and I don't think I'm elderly just yet. Maybe tomorrow, but not today. But thanks to the PTs and PTAs I've had in my life, I've regained the ability to get from point A to point B with relative fluidity and relative comfort. And absent the care from those medical professionals, I'm certain I would not be able to do that. But it also means I might know a trick or two of your trade. Excuse me, you've learned, practiced your skills in our new and expanded PTA labs, which are next door on the 3rd floor of Building U, which is our dedicated health sciences building. You faced the challenge of perfecting your techniques while dealing with a pandemic, a hurricane, and probably worst of all, local traffic. We're all proud of you and know that you'll make an immediate and positive impact on the patients you serve. Please join me in welcoming Dr. Cindy Vaccarino to the stage. Cindy.
Is this working?
Yes.
Okay. I'm loud enough, but you know, just in case. Graduates, family, friends, faculty, Dr. Meyer, and administrators. The faculty and I would like to congratulate the PTA graduates who sit here before you today for completing an accelerated PTA program at Hodges University during the last year. Not only did they excel in an already stressful program, but they did so even after somebody invited a guy named Ian. They made up all their missed time due from the hurricane and its aftermath. Our faculty and students muddled together through uncharted waters as we revamped schedules and made the program even more accelerated during their last semester. The students you see before you were resilient during this time. They came to school the morning just before the hurricane hit to take an exam, only to be told to go home minutes after arriving. Some of them didn't even arrive, as their cell phones were going off, warning them that their homes were under mandatory evacuations. You can thank that guy right over there for that. After the devastation of Hurricane Ian, our students were faced with obstacles which included lack of internet, electricity, water, phone service, and even some of them housing. One of these students lost everything, even their course books. I will never forget the day I was able to reach out to all the students except for Gil. the sinking feeling in my heart, because I knew that he had stayed in Matlacha throughout the storm. I was so relieved after 3 days when I finally heard from him. I do not have children of my own, but I can imagine the feeling somebody feels when they lose a child or don't know where they are. Each and every one of you, our students, welcomed the challenge, never complained, and were flexible throughout it all. This year has been filled with sacrifices, sleep deprivation, vulnerability in their clinics, and yes, even at times tears. All of which enabled you to grow not only academically, but personally as well. As students, you have been humbled at times and had realization that making the highest grade did not always correlate with being the best. You learned that true meaning of time management and critical thinking. You realized the most useful tools or equipment in therapy were your own hands, and you learned how to use them. You learned when to stay in your lane and when to advocate for your patients. You nurtured lifelong friendships during the course of this past year and learned what it meant to be part of a team that helps people become more functional. We are proud of all of you, we are proud of all you have accomplished in such short time and of the physical therapist you have now become. At this time, we at Hodges University wanted to acknowledge and thank the families and friends of these graduates for supporting them throughout this difficult year. I know it was difficult. Thank you for the sacrifices you made for your graduates, which allowed them to follow their dreams and become a physical therapist assistant. They could not have done it without you. This is not the end of their journey, but the beginning of their careers and lifelong learning. Graduates, at the end of the day, your hard work, your kindness, your understanding, your empathy, and your humanity is what people will always remember, and that is what, in the end, will always matter the most. Congratulations, and I'm now happy to call you my colleagues. We did have a guest speaker from the Florida Physical Therapy Association, but she couldn't make it today, so I'm going to introduce Dr. Petralia, who was the former president of the Florida board that licenses these students once they pass their board exam. So without further ado, I'm just going to introduce her.
Again, welcome to everybody. Graduates, congratulations on a tremendous accomplishment. Even though it's only been a year, it's been a long year. And I'd like to challenge you to think back of the first week or two that you guys were in your P&P class. I want you to think back to the discussion about engagement, involvement, the FPTA, the APTA, and all the other entities in our profession. I want you to think about membership benefits. As you're thinking about that, I want you to think about all of the support that you receive from your community at home, at school, in your clinics, and elsewhere. And I want to really encourage you to remember that as you now venture out on your own journey. As we welcome you to the profession of physical therapy, I challenge you to welcome others. Remember where you stood a year ago and all that you've accomplished throughout this year. Lifelong learning, access, equity, all of those concepts that we talked about in your first couple weeks of class. It's now your turn to pay that forward to others. So in closing, I just want to say two of my favorite expressions, and they really hold true right now. Always do the right thing, even when nobody else is watching. That's ethics, right? And also enjoy the journey. Welcome. So each class selects a member to be their class president. Please join me in welcoming Haley Cannon to the stage.
Hello, good evening. Thank you for joining my classmates and I this year completing PTA school. We are here tonight to celebrate a milestone in our lives. I remember our first day so vividly in January when we took our spots in the PTA lab room, which instantly started our first friendships within the classroom. We started off as strangers, but quickly had to learn how to be comfortable with each other due to the demand of the profession working hands-on. We weren't exactly sure what this year would entail, but within the first week, we quickly realized the amount of hard work and dedication our chosen career would require. Those sleepless nights of studying for our daily quizzes, to those early morning review sessions, to participating in class for 8 hours, then getting home to do the exact sequence for 1 year was not for the weak and unmotivated. Myself, Kylie, and Aline were prepared every morning with a giant cup of coffee before we studied on our way to school. Gil opted to take caffeine supplements throughout the day, which Peyton chose his famous 3D energy drinks, while Raymond, he just powered through the day. To say the least, we all had our fair share of sleepless nights and compensated for an extreme amount of caffeine the next day. Throughout this year, our cohort has been through multiple highs and lows of the program with the level of stress constantly skyrocketing. With periodic practicals that simulated real-life case scenarios and different faculty acting as our patient, I think it's safe to say we all had moments where we were reconsidering this path, if this path was really for us. Not only had this program pushed us in many ways of critical thinking, but has also pushed us out of our comfort zone on many levels. Whether it was Peyton getting wheezy over the sight of blood, or Kylie having her mental breakdowns over any circumstance having her foot touched, we were all able to overcome our life or self-limitations, which not only prepared us to be better clinicians, but helped us grow as individuals. Some last-minute circumstances occurred that were unexpected and out of our control. Within a change in the professors, which led to adjustments in our syllabi and schedules, as well as a devastating hurricane which caused destruction to our classmates both physically and emotionally. External factors like these could easily lead to commotion and uncertainty of how our education would be impacted with such short notice. Unexpected factors such as these were a part of life, but are quite prevalent in our profession. This increased the need for adaptability throughout the course, or what Dr. Beck likes to say as PTAs, we just roll with it. Thanks to Dr. Vaccarino, we had the ability to participate in events some people may never be able to experience as students. This includes taking a tour of Arthrex, volunteering to assist individuals in the Special Olympics at the ASPN Center in Orlando, and attending meetings for networking opportunities within the physical therapy community. Our program also gave us the opportunity to have a taste of real-life work through 2 rotations of clinical internships where we experienced 7 to 8 weeks of working in different settings to give us an idea of where we could see ourselves working in the future. With the hard work, dedication, and spending hours on end with the same classmates within this whole year, we definitely had times where we would butt heads and push each other's buttons. Regardless, our class grew to be a family to help one another physically, mentally, and emotionally while supporting each other to make it through this year together. I say this with great pride, I can say, we made it, guys. On behalf of the January 2022 cohort, I would like to thank Dr. Vaccarino, Professor Passos, Professor Moore, Dr. Swan, and Dr. Pachalia for all their support, guidance, dedication, and patience in getting us through this chaotic and rewarding year. The lessons that we were taught at Hodges University have paved a way for us as the next generation of healthcare professionals to utilize our knowledge and skills to better care for our community. As we look forward to taking our boards in April 2023 and becoming licensed physical therapist assistants, we will continue to maintain the standards and practices set forth by the American Physical Therapy Association. Congratulations to us all. Thank you.
Haley, that was great. Thank you very much. And now it's the moment that you all worked so hard for, receiving your PTA pins. At this time, I'd like to welcome back to the stage for the first time, Professor Vanessa Passos, and then back to the stage, Dr. Vaccarino, for the pinning process.
First student is Raymond Acevedo. Gilberto Castillo.
You're going to make a great PTA.
James, aka Peyton Dickinson. Miss Kylie Kimball. And last but not least, Mr. Alain Mayo.
Either I pick or I shrunk,
Is that the best you could do? That was good. So you did it. What's next? Well, for starters, I know you have a licensing exam to take, and I also know that your professors have you well prepared with the knowledge and skills you'll need to be successful at that exam. So as you continue your career path, stay in touch with us. We like hearing about your accomplishments, and we like to know how you're doing. And remember, we're like Hotel California. Once you check in, you can't ever leave. You're always a member of the Hodges University family. To everyone here, after we recess, please stay and celebrate with us. I know there are refreshments in the back. The protocol will be, I will lead everybody back out. We're going to take them down to the center of the building for some photo ops, but we'll let them go again. They can come back in a few minutes. Thank you.